Well, John, I think it might be time for then.
Go on.
Liam only went to the cinema, didn't he?
Hey.
And now it's time for his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema.
Yay.
Only one this time. I didn't get a chance to see Blair Witch, unfortunately.
Oh, really? I thought you'd gone to see it.
No, I really want to.
I just I'd like to hear if that's any good.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm seeing very mixed things online, and the only day I had the chance to go and see it would have been Friday before Jack came to visit it.
Mm.
And I thought, do I really want to go and see that with a Friday night crowd where it'd probably be like couples necking and...
I don't know if people are going to Blair Witch to neck, are they?
Well, I think... Yeah. I do.
Oh, fair enough. I'll trust your guys' call on that one.
So instead I just went to my local comic book shop and played some board games and stuff.
Okay.
Because that's what cool people do.
So what film did you see?
I'm pleased you asked. I went to see Don't Breathe.
Another horror film. Were there people necking?
To be fair, it wasn't like a Friday night, so it's kind of quiet. I can't really see shit in the dark anyway, so I was lucky enough to not have anyone in my immediate vicinity. So there was no necking that I could see. The thing is, you say another horror film, barely.
Yeah.
It feels more like a thriller with aspirations to be a horror.
Well, it's a thin line, anyway, I would say.
The setup and the first act, maybe even some of the second act when you think about it, real good thriller, sort of kind of panic roomy almost.
Yeah.
Then there's a thing in the film where it kind of feels like they're trying to shoehorn in some horror elements, and it's just unnecessary. It's not as good.
Just going back to genre, if you think of films like The Silence of the Lambs, which I would call a thriller, but a lot of people put Hannibal Lecter as horror icon, and things like that. So, would you? Because I know there's an antagonist in there with the potential to be iconic within those circles. Would you say it's similar to that?
Nah, Silence of the Lambs is a really good film. Really good. Don't Breathe is just kind of average.
I was really looking forward to seeing it, actually.
I mean, you might like it. I gave it 3 out of 5, so it's not avoid it at all costs. But, I think manage your expectations as well. Don't maybe go in expecting it to be a horror.
Okay. Who's
bearing in mind, the director previously did the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, yeah.
Also stars Jane Levy, who was in The Evil Dead. She's in this, and she's just absolutely delightful. Happy to watch her.
That's good.
Anyone else been to the cinema lately?
No,
I haven't been for a while. I do want to go and see Blair Witch. But I just haven't had the chance or the money. I get paid Friday, so hopefully I can go soon.
Yeah, I need to try and convince people to go and see that.
Would you not go alone, Jack?
I'm not a massive fan of going alone. I probably would, but then I don't know if I care enough about this film to go by myself.
Well, I don't know how you are with horror films either.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know, because I don't know how scary this is going to be.
Yeah, well, I can't. You're not gonna know until you see it.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's true. Have you seen?
In my head, sorry, Emma.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah, I love the original, and that did scare me.
Okay.
But I'm worried because it's part of this sort of almost remakey, let's pick up an old franchise, and those tend to not, or at least in my opinion, tend to not be as good.
Agreed. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, I don't think it's going to be that scary. But then it's the kind of thing that I'll say that, go by myself, and not be able to walk home.
Do you live in the woods?
No.
Okay. I'll just.
It's a scary concept though. So if they can't make that scary, they're real bad at filmmaking.
To be fair, I remember when I first saw the original one the first time, I remember walking home with my then girlfriend, and it was around bonfire night, so there was fireworks going off and stuff, and we were getting shit up just because of that.
Yeah.
So if I were you, Jack, I'd go and see it soon before all the fireworks start.
Yeah, fair enough.
There was one film that I did introduce Jack to this weekend.
Yep. Possibly one of the greatest films Liam's ever introduced me to.
Ooh, intrigued.
Oh my god, I messed that up. Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, right.
Do the full title.
I don't know. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the 8th Dimension?
That's close enough.
That's
across
close.
the
What is it actually?
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, I believe.
I messed up one word. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
That film,
But yeah.
it is nuts, man.
It's just insane and great.
I saw it recently because Arrow bought it out, didn't they?
Yeah.
And because they're making a series of it, I sort of got interested in actually seeing what it's like, and I feel I need to watch it again just because how bizarre it was.
Yeah.
That's why I was so keen to watch it again. And like when I first watched it, I watched it by myself. I wanted to see how it played with like other people in the room as well. Because I feel like it's a sort of film where if you get a few buddies together, like knock back a few beers and just have kind of fun with it.
Mm.
So you were saying to me before we watched it, you were like, I don't know if we're drunk enough.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're too drunk, like it's already fairly confusing.
Yeah, is it a drunk film? I don't know. I think you can enjoy it without being pissed up. And it's not particularly one of those films where you do drinking games or anything like that.
No, it's not High School Musical.
Of course not.
But I feel like, not like necessarily drunk, but I feel like it's the sort of movie where you have to be in the mood to have a good time all the time.
Okay.
So if you're in that sort of like good mood vibe, chuck it on, have a few laughs with it.
It's definitely a feel-good film, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a hard film to pin down.
Well, I'd stick it as a sci-fi, but it could easily be a comedy, really.
Action, adventure.
Yeah, fantasy, anything.
So what did you think of it, Jack?
Like 4 out of 5.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Honestly, I loved it. I don't know why. Like, I couldn't tell you why I loved it. But I was just happy the whole time I was watching it. And then when it ends, I was like, oh, man.
So would you recommend it to our listeners?
Yeah, definitely.
There you go, Mark. It's been recommended to you.
Makes a change. It's one of those films I kind of wish I'd seen as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it must have passed me by, I guess. Because it's only recently come to my attention. I don't know. It's one of those hidden gems. So I too would recommend it.
Well, there's a really good sort of video on YouTube of Kevin Smith talking about it at a like a film thing he did for like a New York film school type thing, where he was doing a series of screenings of films that he liked, and hearing him talk so passionately about it, I think is kind of a good way to sell someone on the film.
Yeah, he clearly loves that movie.
Isn't he involved in the series as well?
Yeah, I think he's producing.
Okay. So he's just gone to the studio saying, oh, let's make this. And they go, okay, we'll give you an executive producer credit. Basically. And that's it, yeah.
Something like that, I think, yeah. But it's definitely the sort of thing where I think it could work as a series. Like, there's enough in that film that they could branch off of in several different directions.
I agree, and Westworld is another one coming out which I think is quite similar, sort of high concept, fun sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen the original film, but my dad has, and he was saying he's like so fucking excited about this TV series. So I'll be watching it, but I don't know whether to watch. I guess I should watch the film before I see it.
I think you should. It's 90 minutes and it's just fun, and it has scope to be extended to at least 10 episodes. I don't know if it'll go for another series or anything.
Yeah.
But like Buckaroo Banzai, it's not as weird. It's just a fun, high concept movie. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Do you know what you should watch before you watch that?
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So why aren't you watching it?
High School Musical 2.
No, we've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Yeah. No, it's season 7 of The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or was it 6? Season 6, sorry.
Whatever, Liam. I know that I need to watch it.
Yeah. And I'm not the only one here that can vouch for it either.
I can vouch for that. I recently did all The Walking Deads because I did season 1 when it was originally released.
Which is a great season.
Which is a very good season. I really enjoyed it at the time. But then when season 2 came out, everyone I knew told me how bad season 2 was. So I never bothered with it. And then my wife and I decided we were going to do them all. And we did them in a month, I think, all 6 series.
Yeah, Jack
Fair enough.
Can't even be bothered to do one season.
No, what? Fuck off. I'm on the latest season. I just need to watch it.
Yeah, go on then.
It's weird, because, like, Walking Dead, I have these huge gaps where I don't watch it, and then I get pressurised by people to watch it, and eventually I'm like, fine, I'll watch it, and then love it. So I don't know why I'm so bad at keeping up to date with it.
Well, you've got the new series coming out end of October, so... You have to.
I just need to watch this series before then.
Yeah.
And then refuse to watch that series for like another year.
But we do also have Luke Cage coming out on Friday.
We do.
Which, when this episode goes live, will have already been out.
I'll expect.
So you guys planning to watch it?
Yeah, I'll probably do it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I've enjoyed the 2 seasons of Daredevil that we've had, and I've enjoyed Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But there's a thing that bothered me with Jessica Jones, and this might just be me sort of reading into it too much, perhaps. But the fact that they introduced Luke Cage in Jessica Jones bothers me.
Why?
Because to me, it felt like they didn't have enough faith that Jessica Jones could lead her own show, like a female superhero. Oh, that no one's going to watch that. So they chucked Luke Cage in there just to get people watching. And I feel like if Jessica Jones now doesn't show up in Luke Cage's season, which all of the trailers so far doesn't look like that's going to happen, that bothers me.
See, I would agree with that if it was Daredevil, who's a more famous character, but Luke Cage is pretty unknown in popular culture.
It just feels like they were like, oh, we need a male hero in this.
I don't think that's what it is at all.
That's the vibe I got.
I think they were trying to set up the whole romance thing between those two.
Yeah.
For the coming series of either his series, because I assume she's going to be like, fair enough. I haven't watched any of the trailers for it at all, so I've got no idea. But like, I can't imagine they do a series after establishing that they've got this romantic thing going on. I can't imagine she wouldn't be in it.
We'll see.
I think it would probably be a cameo, much like he was, because that's all he was. He was a cameo.
Well, no, he had like a several episode arc.
I don't know if it was like he had like a couple episodes at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then came back in at the end.
Well, obviously there was that spoilers for Jessica Jones coming up, but there was that whole thing about her kind of being involved with his wife's death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd say it was more than a cameo. But like I said, I just feel like if she's not in it, I'm going to be annoyed.
But he didn't save the day or anything.
No, he didn't. It just, to me, it felt like they were literally just throwing him in because they kind of had cold feet about having a female-led show.
He was almost a dildo with emotional involvement, and that was it.
Almost, yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm excited for it. I just really want Jessica Jones to pop up in it. I feel like that's just fair.
Okay.
I want Daredevil. I want all three of them to pop up so that we know they're establishing.
I agree, and I've heard rumours Iron Fist actually makes an appearance as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It would be. So, yeah, I'm well up for this series. It's got good reviews. Listening to Kevin Smith's podcast, he watched the first 7 episodes.
Okay.
And was gushing all over it. So,
yeah, but he gushes over pretty much anything with superheroes.
He does. But, you know, it got me interested at least.
Yeah, I think, I'm excited, and that's probably how I'm going to spend my weekend.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
So.
Okay, well, we had the perfect segue to the next section, and it sort of got kicked to one side. So,
did we?
Yeah.
What was the segue?
It would have been The Walking Dead, wouldn't it?
Oh shit, yeah.
You're much better at our podcast than we are, which is upsetting me.
I mean, yeah, that's not surprising. Really?